All right, class. Today I'm going to talk about a very important topic that is agreement. Apart from parts of speech, the traditional grammar has given us some more concepts or topics to help us analyze English structure. And we got to pay attention to agreement related to those concepts. Now let's see what are those topics. Let me show you the next slide. Let me clear all of this. Okay, those concepts are number, person, tense, voice, gender. For example, if I write a sentence here, he goes to school. You probably won't have any objection onto this sentence as far as grammar is concerned. But if I write it this way, he go to school, you would immediately say that, sir, it's grammatically wrong. Why? Because we need to have es over here as he is the third person singular. So that means we got to see whether the verb agrees with the subject. If it's the third person singular, we got to have es with the action verb. All right. So this what I mean by agreement in respect of number and person. And that's what we really need to analyze to understand English structure. Now in English we have the first person pronoun, that is I. We have the second person pronouns or pronoun like you, your. We have the third person pronoun or pronouns. They are he, she, it, and they. Over here we can have I, we, right? They. So he, she, it, they. They all are third person pronouns. So we got to see whether the verb agrees with these pronouns or it doesn't, right? Whether the verb agrees with these persons or these, whatever the person is being used in the sentence, whether it agrees with that or not, right? Okay. All right. Then comes another important aspect, that is tense. Now, Also, we got to see whether the sentence is related to a particular time. And if it's related to a particular time, we got to choose an appropriate verb form. So verb forms are important. For example, if I want to talk about past time, I cannot say I go to school. This is entirely wrong because I want to talk about past time, so I need to have past verb form that is went. So this means like we need to choose the verb form in accordance to the time we want to talk about, or we are talking about, or writing about whatsoever. Right? Okay. Then comes voice. Now, in English, we have two voices, active and passive voice. Now, we use active voice when our focus is the doer of an action. For example, Ali kills the cat. And we use passive voice when our focus is on the receiver of the action. So the cat is killed by Ali. Now here the cat is receiving the action, so the subject receives action. Please keep this in mind that here the cat is the subject basically, right? Whereas in the first example, in the active sentence, Ali is the subject and Ali is doing an action here. So here Ali is the doer of an action. The subject is the doer of an action. So that's why this is called active. Whereas on the other hand, this sentence is passive because the subject, which is the cat, is the receiver of the action. So, of course, depending on what is our focus, we got to choose either active or passive voice. Then comes the concept of gender. In English, we have two genders, right, which occur naturally, and they are males and females. And yes, we also have a neutral gender. For example, we use it, right, for non-living things, right? Okay, so but in general we have two genders, males and females, or either male or a female, right? Whatever. So there are two genders, and for these two genders, we have different pronouns. We use he for males, and we use she for a female, right? So he for a male, she for a female, right? Okay. And we use they for males or females whatsoever, right? But right, in short, we have two genders here, right? A male is one gender, another gender is a female, right? Okay, so if I write over here, Ali is a boy, and I have to continue and I want to replace Ali with a pronoun, I cannot write over here she, right? So because in English, natural gender, there are two natural genders, right? Okay, and they are males and females, and by the name we know, right? Okay, from the context, right? Cultural context, that um, this is a name of a boy, and we are also saying that he is a boy. So we got to write over here he instead of she. So that means pronouns got to agree with the gender being used, right? So we have to make choices here. We have to choose between active or passive. We got to choose a particular, based on a particular gender. We got to choose either he or she. Based on the time we're talking about, we got to choose the verb form, present, past participle. Based on, you know, whether it's a third person, or it's what the first person or the second person, right? We got to make sure that the verb agrees with the person, or even the number, right? Okay. Now let me go ahead and tell you about another important aspect, which is opposite to natural gender. What is it? Let me introduce on the next slide. Let me use the mouse. Okay, here we are. Now I would like to introduce the concept of grammatical gender. We talked about natural genders. In English, there are two, right? Male and female. And yes, there is one more which we can take as a neutral gender, right? Right. Now, these are biological genders, right? Okay. Then there is one more concept that is called grammatical gender. Excuse me for a while. Okay, that is called grammatical gender. And there are some languages basically which make use of grammatical gender. That means the words are either masculine or feminine. For example, here we have two phrases from Spanish: el sol, the sun. Now here, this word indicates that the sun is masculine, right? On the other hand, in this phrase, la luna, the moon, this word indicates that moon is a feminine object. Now, why we call it grammatical gender? Because this masculinity and the notion that the object is feminine is actually indicated to language through words. So these words basically indicate whether something is masculine or feminine, right? We have one more example over here that is from the German language, der Mond. Now here we can see that the Mond in this in the German language, right? Okay, is the moon, and it has masculine attribute, right? So this word der indicates that the moon is masculine, whereas the suna, the sun, right here, this d, right, indicates that it is feminine, or it has got feminine attributes. So the gender lies in words, right? They don't occur naturally. Then we have the third category, sphere. This is neutral, right? All right. Okay. Uh, we do have similar examples in our national language, that is Urdu. I would like to talk about that also. Now, in Urdu, we say चांदनी होती है. चांद होता है. Now here this chandni, or this particular word hoti, tells us, right, this hoti, right, tells us that chandni is feminine, right? And here the word hota tells us that chand is masculine, right? Now I would like to give you an assignment about it. Write 10 examples of grammatical gender from Urdu language, right? Write 10 examples of grammatical gender from Urdu language of your own. Do not use the example I've shared with you. Rather, come up with your own examples, right? Yes, you can figure out or deduce the concept from the example given over here, right? But you got to come up with your own examples. I hope you have understood everything. You have understood uh, agreement and its importance in English, and how we got to apply, all those concepts related to agreement when we are analyzing English structure. All right, and I hope you've also understood grammatical gender. In some languages, it is present. In English, it is not present at all, right? Okay, so if you have any question, you can ask me during our online session, and you please do submit your assignment by next week. Thank you very much. Take care of yourself.